EVO.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Brandon. You're listening to episode 171. Where is Nancy Guthrie? So this week on Criminal Mischief, I'm going to break down the latest in the mysterious kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, mother of today's show host, Savannah Guthrie. So the disappearance of an 84-year-old 9 days ago has captivated the nation, and without any clear suspects, at this point has seemingly confounded law enforcement. Unless they know something they're not telling us, which is entirely possible. But this lack of information has also fueled crazy online speculation. Is this a kidnapping for ransom, which it appears to be, or was it a random unhinged home invasion? Or was this a targeted abduction for some unknown reason? 9 days later, so many questions and still not a lot of answers. But there is a critical deadline looming today, Monday, February 9th, which we'll get to in a bit. But first, let's wind back the clock to the evening of January 31st. According to the Pima County Sheriff's Office, at 5:32, Nancy Guthrie took an Uber to her daughter Annie and son-in-law Tomas's home for dinner and a game night. Now, the couple lived just 4 miles away from Nancy's home in the secluded Catalina foothills north of Tucson. Later that night, Nancy's son-in-law dropped her off at home at 9:48 p.m. That's when her garage door is recorded as opening, and then it closes again at 9:50. And this is the last time that Nancy is seen alive. The following Sunday morning, Nancy Guthrie didn't show up for Sunday service at her church, which wasn't like her. At 11 a.m., a churchgoer notifies the family that she was a no-show. By 11:56, family members arrive at Nancy's home, and she's not there. Not only is she missing, but they are immediately concerned because they see blood droplets by the front door, and inside the house is in disarray. They knew something bad had happened, and they immediately call 911 within minutes of arriving at her place and report her missing.
A white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, powder blue. Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
The Pima County Sheriff's Patrol deputies arrive at 12:15. They find the blood droplets on the front porch, and they see signs of forced entry into the home. Literally, the Ring camera that's on the door is just gone. Investigators started piecing together a timeline that at 1:47 a.m., Nancy's doorbell camera was disconnected and removed. However, at 2:12 a.m., the camera's software detects movement. But because the camera has not been recovered, and since Nancy didn't have a subscription to the service, no video is available because that footage wasn't uploaded into the cloud. Then at 2:28 a.m., 16 minutes later, Nancy's pacemaker app data is disconnected from her phone. Now, this is all very disconcerting because 84-year-old Nancy had left her basic essentials at home, including her wallet, car, cell phone, which was attached to her pacemaker, her hearing aid, and life-saving medication. At this point, it was clear to police that she had been taken from her home in the middle of the night against her will. And pretty quickly, investigators realized they were up for a challenge because Nancy lived alone in a remote neighborhood. There are homes around her home, but they're spread apart and they're all on big parcels of land. And the street that runs in between these homes doesn't have streetlights, which means except for random pockets of light emanating from her neighbors' homes, which are tucked off the main road, like Nancy's, the area plunges into an extreme darkness at night. A very secluded area where surveillance footage would be hard to come by. That Sunday night, at around 7 p.m., the Pima County Sheriff's Office starts posting on social media to let them know that Nancy Guthrie is missing. A couple hours later, the sheriff, Chris Nanos, speaks to reporters near Nancy's house, telling them that he hopes that this is a search and rescue mission. However, by Monday, February 2nd, investigators officially announced that they believe Nancy was kidnapped against her will. And it's that Monday night that a local news station in Tucson received a ransom demand via their online tip portal. Reportedly, this demand letter listed a Bitcoin wallet address to receive the ransom payment. Apparently, two other media outlets, TMZ and Scripps, also received the letter, which demanded millions of dollars be deposited in a crypto account. By Wednesday night, February 4th, Savannah Guthrie posts a video on social media with her brother Cameron and sister Annie.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny and spunky and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see. Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please, reach out to us.
The following day, Thursday, February 5th, Sheriff Chris Nanos gives updates on the case in a press conference where he says that he believes that Nancy is still alive.
5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, which is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself, cut up. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So that detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 2:28, Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units.
The blood on the front porch was fast-tracked for DNA, and it came back as positive for Nancy Guthrie. And it's during this press conference that he stresses that they don't have a suspect or person of interest, but also points out that no one has been eliminated either, including friends and family.
Nobody's eliminated, but we just really don't have enough to say, this is our suspect, this is our guy, we know, or our gal. We just don't know that. And it's really kind of reckless to report that someone is a suspect when they could very well be a victim. It just, I bring to you, to the media, I plead with you to be careful of what it is we put out there, because we don't have anybody here listed as a suspect.
During this press conference, it was also announced that the FBI had been brought in to consult on the case, and that they had offered a $50,000 reward for information about Nancy's whereabouts.
We have an expertise when it comes to kidnappings, and when families want advice, consultation, expertise, we will provide that. But the ultimate decisions on what they say and how they put that out rests with the family itself.
It's at this presser that the FBI announces they are vetting multiple ransom notes sent to media outlets. Heath Jenke, the FBI special agent in charge, discusses the possible ransom notes which had been sent to media outlets. He talked about how one of the notes mentioned a broken floodlight at Nancy's home, and another note mentioned her Apple Watch. But none of the ransom notes offered any proof of life. It was also announced that the FBI had made an arrest related to an imposter ransom demand.
There's no evidence to connect this to Nancy's case. It was someone that was trying to profit from it, a total imposter.
Apparently, after that Instagram video had been released with the three siblings, Nancy's daughter, Annie Guthrie, and her husband, Tomasa Sione, both separately received a text message from the same number saying, quote, "Did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction." Now, law enforcement were able to trace the phone number to an email and IP address of a Derek Kalela from California. They say that he admitted to sending the two text messages. He also admitted that he had pulled family information from a cyber website and that he'd been following the kidnapping on TV. When he sent the text messages, he said he wanted to see if the family would respond. Data received showed that about 3 minutes after the text messages, he called a family member of Nancy Guthrie, which lasted about 9 seconds. The two text messages have not been linked to the February 2nd ransom demand.
To those imposters who are trying to take advantage and profit from this situation, we will investigate and ensure you are held accountable for your actions. We have made one arrest related to an imposter ransom demand, and a complaint will be presented to a magistrate judge later today.
So these ransom notes are confusing, and they don't give all the information about exactly what they say. But by Thursday, at least 3 potential ransom notes had been reportedly sent to media outlets. But the FBI wasn't able to confirm their authenticity, and the family still hadn't received additional contact from the purported ransomers. So the media outlets, including TMZ and Scripps, reported that the ransom notes demanded millions of dollars in Bitcoin for Nancy's safe return. And one of these letters had 2 deadlines. Apparently, one was on 5 p.m. Thursday, and then the second deadline is for today, Monday, at 5 p.m. So on Thursday night, after the 5 p.m. deadline, Cameron Guthrie posted another video to the potential kidnappers, basically saying, "We need you to reach out to us."
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Reportedly, a second note was sent to media outlets on Friday just before noon. And again, neither the first or second note provided proof of life. So the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department said Friday they were inspecting the latest note for authenticity. It is not known whether the possible ransom note and the new message are connected or whether they came from the same sender. One of the notes sent to media outlets said that Nancy was safe but scared and reportedly demanded $6 million in Bitcoin to avoid, quote, consequential repercussions. The note also said that this is their only communication and they are done communicating and negotiating, and that the family has a deadline of 5 p.m. on Monday, February 9th. According to TMZ, the first ransom note contained insider details about Nancy's Apple Watch and where it could be found in the house, and also described a backyard floodlight as being destroyed. So on Saturday, February 7th, ahead of this Monday deadline, Savannah Guthrie, her sister Annie, and brother Cameron released a video telling potential abductors that they would pay.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us and we will pay.
Also over the weekend, on Saturday, investigators were back at Nancy Guthrie's home, and they were seen searching a septic tank in her yard. Investigators were also at Nancy's daughter's home, Annie's, collecting evidence Saturday night. And then down the street, detectives were seen canvassing local gas stations, tracking down vehicles caught on camera the night Nancy disappeared. So up next on Criminal Mischief bonus content, my co-host Brandon Morgan and I will discuss the latest updates in this rapidly evolving investigation, including this 5 p.m. deadline on Monday, February 9th, given to the family to deliver this ransom. And one more thing before I let you go. Remember, you can watch our show on YouTube at evocreative.com. And of course, please make sure to rate and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts. It really helps us get discovered. And as always, thanks for listening. From Pie in the Sky Media, Criminal Mischief is an EVO production, recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. For EVO Creative, I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.